Today I'm going to be reading to you from the third chapter of this book. And in the introduction to that chapter, one sentence is important. It is about infusing human women with wild women's primary instinctual power, intuition. So I've been reading this, I read the story, Vasilisa the Wise, which you can find through the links with this video. And there are 9 tasks that women must complete psychologically in order to regain and activate their intuition. So this is an initiation story. And so today I'm reading the 7th task, Asking the Mysteries. After the successful completion of her tasks, Vasilisa asked the Yaga some good questions. The tasks of this time are these: questioning and trying to learn more about the life nature and how it functions. Vasilisa asks about the horseman. Learning the truth about being able to understand all the elements of the wild nature. To know too much can make one old too soon. We all begin with the question, what am I really? What is my work here? The Yaga teaches us that we are life, that this is our cycle, this is our special insight into the deep feminine. When I was a child, one of my aunts told me the legend, the watery woman. She said that at the edge of every lake there lived a young woman with old hands. Her first job was to put tuz, what I can only describe to you as soul fire, into dozens of beautiful porcelain ducks. Her second job was to wind the keys in the ducks' backs. When the wooden winding keys ran out and the ducks fell over, their bodies shattered. She was to flap her apron at the souls as they were released and shoo them into the sky. Her fourth job was to put tuz into more beautiful porcelain ducks, wind their keys, and release them to their lives. The tuz story is one of the clearest about exactly what it is the life mother does with her time. Cyclically, Mother Nyx, Baba Yaga, the watery woman, El-Kay Sabe, and wild woman represent different pictures, different ages, moods, and aspects of the wild mother god. The infusion of tuz into our own ideas, our own lives, the lives of those we touch, that is our work. The shooing of the soul to its home, that is our work. The releasing of a shower of sparks to fill the day and creating a light so we can find our way through the night, that is our work. I'm just amazed at how much my mother understood this, because she would always shoo me out the door saying, "Set that old world on fire." Vasilisa asks about the men on horses she has seen while finding her way to Baba Yaga's hut. The white man on the white horse, the red man on the red horse, and the black man on the black horse. The Yaga, like Demeter, is an old horse mother goddess associated with the power of the mare and fecundity as well. Baba Yaga's hut is a stable for the many-colored horses and their riders. These pairs pull the sun up and across the sky by day and pull the cover of darkness over the sky at night. But there is more. The black, red, and white horsemen symbolize the ancient colors connoting birth, life, and death. These colors also represent old ideas of descent, death, and rebirth. The black for dissolving of one's old values, the red for the sacrifice of preciously held illusions, and the white as the new light, the new knowing that comes from having experienced the first two. The old words used in medieval times are negredo, black, rubedo, red, albedo, white. These describe an alchemy which follows the circuit of the wild woman, the work of the life, death, life mother. Without the symbols of daybreak, rising light, and mysterious dark, she would not be who she is. Without the rising of hope in our hearts, without the steady light, no matter if a candle or a sun, to tell us this from that in our lives, without a night from which all things can be soothed, from which all things can be born, we too would not benefit from our wildish natures. The colors in the tale are extremely precious, for each has its death nature and its life nature. Black is the color of mud, the fertile, the black stuff into which ideas are sown. Yet black is the color also of death and blackening of the light. And black has even a third aspect. It is also the color associated with that world between the worlds, which La Loba stands upon. For black is the color of descent. Black is a promise that you will soon know something you did not know before. Red is the color of sacrifice, of rage, of murder, of being killed. Yet red is also the color of vibrant life, dynamic emotions, arousal, eros, and desire. It is a color that is considered strong medicine for psychic malaise, a color which rouses appetite. There is throughout the world a figure known as the Red Mother. She is not as well known as the Black Mother or Madonna, but she is the watcher of things coming through. She is especially propitiated by those who are about to give birth, for whosoever leaves this world or comes into this world has to pass through her red river. Red is a promise that a rising up or a borning is soon to come. White is the color of the new, the pure, the pristine. It is also the color of soul free of the body, of spirit unencumbered by the physical. It is the color of the essential nourishment, mother's milk. Conversely, it is the color of the dead, of things which have lost their rosiness, their flush of vitality. When there is white, everything is, for the moment, tabula rasa, unwritten upon. White is a promise that there is nourishment enough for things to begin anew. Besides the horsemen, both Vasilisa and Hardal are dressed in red, white, and black as well. Vasilisa and Hardal are the alchemical Anligan. Together they cause Vasilisa to be a little life-death-life mother in the becoming. There are two epiphanies or life-givings in the story. Vasilisa's life is revivified by the doll and by her meeting with Baba Yaga, and thereby through all of the tasks she masters. There are also two deaths in the story, that of the original Two-Good Mother and also that of the stepfamily. Yet we see easily that the deaths are proper and that they are ultimately cause a girl a much fuller life. So this letting live, letting die is very important. It is the basic and natural rhythm which women are meant to understand and live. Grasping this rhythm lessens fear, for we anticipate the future, and the ground swells in the emptying outs it will hold. The doll and the yaga are the wild mothers of all women. They provide the penetrating intuitive gifts from the personal level as well as the divine. This is the extreme paradox and teaching of the instinctual nature. It is a sort of wolf Buddhism. What is one is both. What is two makes three. What lives shall die, what dies shall live. This is what Baba Yaga means when she says to know too much can make one old too soon. There is a certain amount we all should know at each age and each stage of our lives. In the tale, to know the meaning of the hands that appear and wring out the oil from the corn and the poppy seed, both life-giving and death-dealing medicines in and of themselves, is to ask to know too much. Vasilisa asks about the horses, but not about the hands. When I was a young adult, I asked Bogdana Rabnovich, an elderly teller from the Caucasus who lived in a tiny Russian farm community in Minnesota, about the Baba Yaga. How did she see this part of the tale where Vasilisa just knows to stop asking questions? She looked at me with the lashless eyes of an old dog and said, "There are simply things which cannot be known." She smiled bewitchingly, crossed her thick ankles, and that was that. To try to understand the mystery of the appearing and disappearing servants who come in the form of hands is akin to trying to absolutely comprehend the core of the numinosum. By warning Vasilisa away from the question, the doll and the Yaga caution Vasilisa about calling upon too much of the numinosity of the underworld all at once. And this is right and proper, for though we visit there, we do not want to become enraptured and thereby trapped there. It is another set of cycles that Yaga alludes to here, cycles of a woman's life. As a woman lives them, she will understand more and more of these interior feminine rhythms, among them the rhythms of creativity, of birthing psychic babies, and perhaps also human ones, the rhythms of solitude, of play, of rest, of sexuality, and of the hunt. One need not push it, the understanding will come. Some things must be accepted as being out of our reach, even though they act upon us, and we are enriched by them. There is a saying, some things are God's business. So, by the end of these tasks, the legacy of the Wild Mothers is deepened and intuitive powers emanate from both the human and soulful sides of the psyche. Now we have the doll as teacher on one side and the Baba Yaga on the other. This is the end of Task 7. I urge you to follow the links below this video to reach the other tasks and also the story, The Doll in Her Pocket, Vasilisa the Wise.